Today we're going to learn about compound interest, and that's valuable to all of us because we need to know how money can grow if we put it into a bank or into other places. So let's see how this works. Let's say you have $100, which is our principal. Or another way of saying that is it's our initial investment. And let's say we are paying, we are getting at 10% as our annual percentage rate. Right? Which is often called the APR, for the annual percentage rate. And let's think about how much money we have after our first year. So on the right side here, let's have a little table. We'll have how much we have at the end of each year. Certainly at year 0, we have $100. So if we want to find out how much we have at the end of the first year, we would take our $100 and we would find 10% of that, which most of you should know is $10. But if we multiply it by 1.1, that means we're multiplying it by 1 to have our original $100 plus another 10%. And that should give us how much we will actually have in the bank. So $100 times 1.1 will give us $110. Now that's how much money we have at the end of the first year. So let's put that down over here. Think about it again. 10% of $100 is $10, and 100 plus $10 is 110. We're just doing a little shortcut by multiplying it by 100 or by 1.1. So we have $110. Now, let's do this again. Now, we want to find out how much money we have in our second year. In our second year, we would have to multiply by our balance of $110 by 1.1 again. So let's put big parentheses around here, and let's multiply by 1.1 again. And if we do that, it turns out that when you multiply $110 times 1.1, we get $121. So in year 2, we'll have $121 because we simply found 10% of $110, which is $11, and added it on, and now that's how much money we have. Let's do it one more time. Let's move all this over a little bit so we have. And now for year 3, we want to multiply our $121 by 1.1 again. And it turns out that when we do this multiplication, we get $133.10. So let's put that over on the right side here, that at the end of year 3, we have $133.10. And of course, we could keep going on and on. But let's look at the pattern that we've seen here. Let's move some of this up a little bit, so we have room to work. And we should notice what we've done. What we've done was we took $100, which was our initial investment or our principal, and we multiplied that by 1.1, but not one time, not 2 times. In this case, it happened to be 3 times. So we multiplied 100 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1. And that's the same thing as saying that we multiplied $100 times 1.1 to the 3rd power. Notice that our $100 was our principal, that our 1.1 was our rate, which was 10%, but we added 1 to it so we could keep finding out how much money we actually had in the bank, not just how much money we're adding to our balance. And finally, our 3 was the number of years or our time. And of course, all that gave us how much was our balance in the bank. Well, we're going to write this in terms of a formula now, and our formula will look as follows. We're going to call it A sub 0, which will be for our balance. And remember, I'm putting a t in here because this is a function. And it's in terms of t because the t is our x, if you want to think of it that way, or our independent variable. Depending on the number of years that you have put the money in the bank, you'll have a different balance. The little 0 is just a subscript, so that it's not A, it's A sub 0. It's just a mathematical notation. And I actually put it in the wrong place anyway, so we'll just take it away and I'll put it back when I'll show you the right place. So A sub t is our balance, and that corresponds right there to the balance. A sub 0, which is what I meant to say before, is our initial investment or our principal. And that we're going to multiply by 1 plus our rate. And remember, our rate was 10%, so there's our rate right there. To the t power, and our t corresponds to here. And by the way, when I wrote rate down over here before, this rate was really corresponding to our 10% there, and then we add 1 to it. So there's our formula. And now let's see how we could use this formula. Okay, so here we go. I just rewrote the formula for you. So A sub t is equal to A of t is equal to A sub 0 times 1 plus r to the t. So let's say we have a principal of, let's say, $500, and that will be our A sub 0. And let's say we'd have a rate, which will be our R, which let's say that's 3%. And let's say we want to find how much money we have after 10 years. That will be our T, which is 10. So once again, this is our rate, our annual percentage rate, our APR, and time will be 10 years. So in order to do a problem like this, it's really quite simple. You're just plugging into the equation. So let's do it on the right side. We say A sub 0 is our 500. And we're multiplying it times 1 plus our rate. And our rate is 3%. And we're going to be doing this for 10 years. So there's our time. And that's all going to be equal to our final balance, A sub t. Well, this is the same thing as saying $500 times 1.03 to the 10th power. So now all we have to do is put this in our calculator, and we get $740 and 12 cents. And that is how much we would have in the bank after 10 years if we took $500 and an annual percentage rate of 3% and compounded it yearly. And so it's a very simple formula. You just plug right into it. And so now, the moment you've been waiting for, it's your turn. How much money will you have if you invest $400 in a bank account that pays 5% annual percentage rate, compounded monthly after 7 years? So if you're having trouble with this, go back, review the screencast, write down the formula, plug into the formula, and I'm sure you'll be able to find the right answer. Good luck, and see you again next time.